Hi everyone, I wanted to do a quick check-in. It has been a while since I have done one of these live videos in our group here. And if you've been following along in the last couple days, I've posted some transit reports. We've had Venus just shift into a brand new year-long cycle, and Venus has now moved into Aries, and is in a tricky Gandanta, tricky gap for the next couple of weeks. So this is intensifying some of this change and transformation, this uprooting that's taking place right now. Remember that Gandantas are these gaps between water and fire, and they bring about a deep uprooting, especially on the psycho-emotional body level. So when we're working with themes of Venus, we're actually working with themes around relationships, self-care, because it has to do with our vitality, our life force energy. It has to do with money and finances, as well as creativity and love and harmony. So right now it's as though Venus is really getting burned. It's jumping from all of this water where Venus was exalted in Pisces for the last 4 months. It's been a really nice extended stay with a lot of juiciness. And now it's as though Venus is jumping right into the fire and getting hot, getting burned. Especially because Venus is transiting Ashvini Nakshatra, which is the Gandanta point between Pisces and Aries. So Ashvini is notorious for rejuvenation, for healing, and for transformation. So this is a really important time for self-care, rejuvenation practices, and staying close to your body wisdom. It's also really important that you notice when you're burning yourself out. So when you're pushing too hard, when you're forcing an outcome, when you're using more physical strength rather than allowing surrender and flow. And part of the conflict right now in this cycle, this month-long cycle of Venus through Aries, but of course Aries jump starts a brand new year-long cycle for Venus. It's a very fresh start for all things Venus, for all things relationship. And this, the sign of Aries is ruled by the energy of Mars as well as Sun, because Sun is considered exalted in Aries. So we get a lot of heat with the sign of Aries. We get a lot of fire. But Venus is water. So there is some contradiction here. There is a conflict between these elements. And that's why there can be this tension between the harmony and the fluidity and the ease and the gentleness and that aggressive force, the more masculine. So what we're really looking at is a need for balance between the masculine and the feminine, the two ways of being. So I want to invite you to really notice what that integration and that balance really feels like for yourself. And if you're feeling pinched, if you're feeling challenged, if you're feeling overheated, it's a reminder to really slow down, to really simplify, and to rest more. So to attend to your inner waters and the cooling energy within you. And if you're noticing that there's some frustration with relationships or finances, if you're noticing that your health is diminishing, these are also reminders that you're probably forcing too much, that there is an excessive heat that's showing up. And I want to invite you to slow down, to cool off, and to really pause. Stay close to the body wisdom. We have another transit coming up later this week. Mercury shifts to Taurus, and that's this Saturday, the 3rd. And this transit is helpful for bringing a little more grounding and stability to the mind, the mental body. And so in the coming days and weeks, remembering those grounding influences. And nature is one of those really essential grounding resources and tools. So don't forget to let nature support you in the cooling and the calming and the rejuvenation that's taking place. And the need for that at this time. Just a reminder that with Venus moving through Ashvini Nakshatra until the 13th of June, this opens all 3 Gandantas. So Saturn's still moving through Mula, Rahu's still moving through Magha, and now Venus props the door open on Ashvini. And in some ways, this is really a final closure for all of these transits that have been marching through this gap between Pisces and Aries over the last 6 months, where endings are coming to the surface and being identified, and new beginnings are also starting and showing up. And at the same time, we have 3 junction points, all 3 junction points open, where there is a lot of deep uprooting on the psycho-emotional body levels. And Venus is doing that right now for relationships and finances, and for things like vehicles and comforts and creativity and vitality. Whereas Rahu is really helping us identify these places within our lineage, the shadows that need to be identified and confronted around the masculine, and the weak masculine especially. Where are you misusing that masculine energy, that force? And we want to, again, find more harmony. Hi, Catherine, welcome. More harmony, more integration, more alignment between opposing forces. And a lot of the challenges and the conflicts that are showing up right now have to do with that weak masculine in Leo and Rahu in Magha Nakshatra, really provoking and instigating these parts of ourselves that are not in right relationship with the masculine and feminine dynamic. So there's a lot of imbalance showing up, and this is, quite frankly, very ancestral misalignment and challenges that are beyond just you, but actually have to do with your lineage as well. And I'm seeing this in charts showing up and clients who are showing up over and over again right now. There are a lot of lineage matters showing up and forcing us to confront the shadow in a very different way right now. So the 3rd Gandanta that's open is, of course, the Saturn in Mula Nakshatra, and this is the confrontation with Dharma. So our life purpose, our soul's purpose, and what are we really here to accomplish on this planet in order for our evolution, in order for our soul to continue to awaken and evolve. And it's interesting because at this point in time, with all 3 Gandantas open for the coming weeks, there's really an opportunity to lean in and look at how relationships play a role in this dynamic of Dharma, ancestral lineage, the masculine, and finding more harmony and balance within. And with the shadow as well. So integrating polarities. And so I invite you to notice where these challenges are showing up for you, and where you are confronting some very old personal mythology, parts of yourself that bring challenge and conflict in sort of a repeated way. And if you're really paying attention, you're probably noticing how these stories that are very old for you continue to arrive right now. And what does that look like for you? What needs are showing up? And where are you stuck? Where are you feeling challenged? Where might you need some support and guidance and new resources and tools? And if you're ready for a chat around that, reach out to me. I'm here, and I offer every week. I offer a couple free Dharma chats for people who want to lean in and look a little bit closer at what the challenges are that they're facing. So you can leave a chat or a comment below, and we can schedule a chat for the coming days and see what your needs are. I also invite you to leave a comment below and let me know what you're noticing on your journey right now. And particularly, what are you noticing since Tuesday when Venus shifted into Aries? So there was this really interesting dynamic that took place leading up to Venus shifting into Aries, and we're still feeling that energy of change and transformation, some conflict and challenge showing up with all things Venus. There's a lot of breaking up and deconstructing taking place because Venus is moving through this Gandanta, this gap. And so share with me, what are you noticing with your relationships, with finances, with cars and comforts and things that bring pleasure to you? What are you noticing with your health and your vitality and your life force energy? These are areas of our life that are going to be challenged and changed and transformed and provoked in the coming days and weeks. So I'll keep you posted on some of the transit wisdom that I see, and don't forget to reach out to me if you're ready for a chat, and let's talk about what you need at this time and what resources might support you in moving forward along your path. And just a reminder around self-care, I'm going really slow, being gentle, and not pushing too hard at this time. It's really easy to get more burned out in this cycle, especially because we just got used to 4 months of exalted Venus where there was an excessive amount of life force energy. And now there's very little available. So it's really easy to go into overdrive and think you've got reserves to spare when you really don't. So remember to slow down, stay close to your body, your breath, and stay close to water right now. Use water as a resource for staying hydrated and fluid and more juicy. All right, everyone, be well. Looking forward to connecting, and talk to you soon.